Let's talk The Sims 4. Now, everyone can speculate happily about the next iPhone, so why can't we speculate about The Sims 4? Now, I've taken the liberty of looking at The Sims 2 and how that's influenced The Sims 3. So my first sort of point here is, in Sims 2, originally you could only see your own house. Much like in The Sims 1, the focus was on the individual house, and there was nothing outside of that. There was obviously the neighborhood, but you could not see the neighborhood from your house. You could only see blank grass, roads, and that was it. This later developed on within The Sims 2. You could see other houses around you. I can't remember what expansion pack it was, but it gave the ability to see the house across the road and down the street in lower quality, basically. And then finally, in the last expansion pack for The Sims 2, you were able to live with other Sims, and that was apartment life. You couldn't control them, but they were there. You lived in the same lot with up to 4 families in apartments. And I think those points there have reflected how The Sims was traveling towards the open world neighborhood. They obviously were not able to make a proper open neighborhood in The Sims 2, but they were definitely moving towards that. And that's where it shows up in The Sims 3, and that idea is expanded upon, and it's turned into the open world neighborhood, where you can visit anywhere, anytime you want to. Now, another thing I was going to talk about was the life aspects. By life aspects, I mean things that happen in real life. Like, you have pets, there's weather, there's vacations, and there's big cities. All of which were in The Sims 2. There was The Sims 2 Pets, The Sims 2 Seasons, Sims 2 Bon Voyage, and The Sims 2 Nightlife. And those are pets, weather, vacation, and big cities. And all of these are in The Sims 3. And I think from what the point I'm trying to make there is the fact that these are life facts. People are going to have pets. We're going to have weather. People are going to go on holidays, and there's always going to be big cities. So I think that these will appear again in The Sims 4 as well. And that was the point I'm trying to make here, is that the fact that they were carried over to The Sims 3, and I believe that they'll be carried over to The Sims 4 as well. And now the last kind of main point that I have in comparison between Sims 2 and 3 is in The Sims 2 you had wants and fears. And these are a small optional gameplay element. You didn't actually have to do anything with them in The Sims 2. You could just leave them there and not worry about them. They gave you influence points in which you could influence other Sims to do certain things for you. It was a bit of fun. And it made your Sims a bit happier and that kind of stuff. But in The Sims 3, this idea was expanded upon, and the amount of needs your Sim has, by needs I mean your hunger, bladder, hygiene, that stuff. It went from 8 down to 6. I can't remember the 2 they got rid of. I think they got rid of environment and something else. I can't remember the other one. And then they replaced wants and fears with wishes, and basically it's kind of a fundamental part of the game now. It's still optional, but it's much more prevalent in the fact that doing them gives you significant rewards. It makes you seem happy in the short term and adds to their lifetime wishes in the long term. And I think that this idea of wants, wishes, wants, fears, that kind of thing, is definitely going to be prevalent in The Sims 4. Maybe in a different form, because it's changed so far. The 2 times we've seen it, it has changed. It's different in both cases. But I think that they're going to probably play around with the needs system and the wishes system as well. But I definitely think both of those will be reappearing in Sims 4, probably in a different form factor. Now, the last thing I want to talk about before I discuss The Sims 4 itself, I want to talk about what's common in all of the generations of The Sims. And by that, I mean The Sims 1, The Sims 2, and The Sims 3. What do they all have in common? Well, first of all, they all have a vacation expansion. The Sims 1 had The Sims Vacation. Sims 2 had Sims 2 Bon Voyage. Sims 3 has World Adventures. All of those are vacation expansions. And they also all have pets expansions. Sims 1 had Unleashed. Sims 2 is Pets, and Sims 3 is Pets. They also all have magic. The Sims 1, it had a dedicated magic expansion pack called Make and Magic. The Sims 2 wasn't as big, but it was there. It was in apartment life, I believe. Don't quote me on that. But it was added just in the pack, just for a bit of fun at the end. And obviously, The Sims 3, we have Supernatural now with witches and fairies and all that kind of stuff. So those 3 categories all have expansion packs in each of the generations. I think in one way or another they will crop up again in The Sims 4. And because I've mentioned pets multiple times now already in this video, and I think that is going to be one of the things that's going to be there. And same with vacations and weather, maybe not in the base game because EA is a bit stingy like that, but I think definitely at some point it will be in The Sims 4. Now, let's just talk about The Sims 4 in general. Let's have a little discussion. Once for the game, what I think, I've told you what I think is going to definitely be there, or what like kind of influences we're going to see on it. And The Sims 3, before I move completely on, The Sims 3 is aiming to be an integrated experience, a social experience with your friends and all that kind of stuff. So it's aiming to be a large world which you can interact with your friends with and share all the kind of stuff with. And I think The Sims 4 is definitely going to have an aspect of sharing and socialism in it. Whether that means true multiplayer in the fact that another player can come into your world with their sim, or if it just means, I don't know, what, like kind of like the Sims, whatever it's called now. Is it Sims? No, not Sim Social. The Simport. If it's something like that in Sims 4. But I definitely think they're going to rework the social aspect of The Sims 4 and make it much more prevalent than it is now, and probably work out a lot of the kinks and a lot of sort of rough edges on it as well to make it much more refined. I definitely think that it will have some sort of multiplayer aspect. Like I said, whether it be a proper, you can see their sim in your world, or if it's just sort of communication with the world. Because I mean, pretty much every game nowadays has some sort of multiplayer aspect because people like to play together now, much more than we ever did before. PC gaming is moving to much more social gaming and all that kind of stuff. So people want to play together. They want to share all their stuff together. And I definitely think that's going to be made a lot easier in The Sims 4 than it has been in the past. And what that means for custom Sims websites out there, I don't know. I don't know how that's all going to be handled. Because right now you can export your content from your game and upload it to any website wherever you want. I don't know what they're going to do in The Sims 4. Probably something similar in the fact that you can upload it anywhere. But I think the whole Sims exchange idea will probably be much more integrated into the game. Much like The Sims store is now. It's really in the game, like ingrained in the game. And I think they're going to do something like that with the exchange as well, to make it much easier to grab content online. But I think they're going to put a higher emphasis on the store rather than custom user-created content, mainly because of economic factors. They want to make money. It's a business, and they're probably going to put more emphasis on their content rather than user content. But I guess that's a waiting thing. In terms of sort of actual game mechanics and how I think the world is going to turn out, I don't think that the worlds will actually be that much bigger than they are now. Because if you look at most games now, there aren't that many true large open world games. Sure, there are. There's like, you have, Crysis isn't that big to be honest, actually. But you have like GTA. The GTA series for a long time has been large open world games, and much like Saints Row has as well. And there's a lot of other games I'm kind of blanking on. Fallout games have been as well. But I just don't. The Sims isn't a game where it can be that open. And those are my kind of basic thoughts and inferences of what I think that The Sims 4 is going to have based on previous games and looking at current technologies and that kind of stuff. I think that's what The Sims 4 is going to be. On a very basic level, obviously I haven't covered much, but I've kind of explained and linked back to previous games in order to sort of put forward my ideas in a way that might have a bit more validity. Anyways, guys, I'm Flubberleaky, and I'll see you in the next video.